We're going to be starting a project looking at India ink. And India ink was a very significant invention that was used to do very important texts, some of them over 6,000 years old. And we're going to be linking this to our story, The Story Machine. And we're looking at doing our own version of one of these images. So I'm doing an example of a giraffe and a train. And the giraffe is built up with the letter G for giraffe, and the train is built up with the letter T for train. Now your step one is going to be to actually draw your image. So my examples of the train and giraffe, you do not have to do the train and giraffe, you can pick your own idea. Once you finish your pencil drawing and you're happy with it, you're then going to go around the pencil with a Sharpie pen. Use the thin end of the Sharpie, and when you're happy with your outline, erase your pencil lines. Your next step is to use your letter sound that starts the name of your picture and fill in all the gaps with that letter. You can use uppercase and lowercase. Once you've filled in your shape, you're going to then use the India ink. Now I want everyone to just pick 2 colours. Once you've got your colour, you use a palette and you put 1 drop of each coloured ink into a little well. You then use an empty well to fill up with a watery version of that colour. When you've filled in the background and the inside of your object, you can use the pure ink just to add a gradient. So you can see here I'm adding a dark blue on top of my watery blue. Don't be tempted to paint the whole thing in ink. It will not look good. You must dilute it with water. If you notice that your ink is bleeding out into your other colours, use a tissue just to take out that bleed. And then you can also use the tissue to put things in like clouds in the sky. Here's the example of the train that we're making. So the same process, after you've done your pencil drawing, you then outline it in a thin black Sharpie. Erase your pencil lines and fill it in with the corresponding letter. So T for train. And then we're going to follow the same process. We're going to pick 2 colours. This time I'm picking red and blue. Put 1 drop of red, 1 drop of blue, and then make a watery version of the blue ink. Use that for your background. So you can see I'm doing the very watery blue, and then I'm adding the pure ink to create a gradient. I'm not painting the whole thing in dark ink. The same for the train. I'm using a watery version of the red, and then I'm adding some red ink at the end. And where it's bleeding here, you can use your tissue. Now you could always wait for your page to dry, or you can take a lot of moisture out with a tissue. Once again, I'm going to add some cloud effects with tissue. And here are finished designs straight from the Story Machine book.